Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm here still waiting for my brothers to come here so we can have a conversation. And I'm seeing Gypsy Corner on the comment section. How are you, Gypsy Corner, and how are you doing? Habari ya jioni kaka. Kaka.
Ndugu yangu salama, Benson, habari ya masiku, maana tumepezana tayari muda.
Niko salama.
Naam, mimi pia vivyo hivyo, tuko salama, tunamshukuru Mungu, tumeiona siku. Ndio maana lazima turejeshe shukrani kwake ili tupe pumza, tupe maneno hapa ya kuzungumza ambayo atakuwa na tija, ambao atakuwa na hamasa na utashi, angalau haswa tulisukume gurudumu letu haswa la kuliyazungumza alivyo hapa kwa Brother Benson Media, na mimi sibanduki niko papa hapa, yaani kama kichwa na kisogo vile. Asante.
Okay, asante sana. Naona pia Retu Brenda pia ako pale kwa comment section, tunamshukuru sana. Umesema jioni yako imekuwa vipi?
Jioni yangu iko salama kabisa. Iko salama. Tumejipanga tuyaendeleze hapa kaka, tunamshukuru Mungu. Labda tu pia ni wasalimie wale wako kule upande mwingine wa pili, nani kama vile ndugu yetu hapa Aguja, alafu pia kuna Brenda na wengine wale ambao wanatufuatilia pia wapokee za msimamo. Kwa hivyo kwako ili tuendeleze alivyo. Asante.
Asante sana. Kwa inakaa kipasa sauti yako inakaa iko na tashushi kidogo, kwa sababu ni kama unakwama, sikupati vizuri. Labda utaangalia ni nini kinaleta shida hapo kwa kipasa sauti. Mi niko salama na najua tumepishana. Umesema hapo awali siku mingi kabla sijakuwa ni ile tu hali ya majukumu ya kawaida. Unajua lazima ukuwe na majukumu ya maisha, lakini saizi nipo. Mandugu zangu wawili pia Makobura ako kwa shughuli fulani. Sidhani kama leo atapata nafasi kuingia, lakini alinihakikishia kwamba labda akirudi mapema atakuwepo. Miguda pia ako na kazi pia mahali, so inamaanisha tutakuwa na wewe hapa kwa takriban saa moja hivi tukizungumzia mambo yalivyo. Kabla tujaenda, wacha niangalie yale ambayo yanachukua kipaumbele katika habari zetu za Kenya, mingi tu, na swala ambalo bado linazungumziwa sana ni swala za chama cha ODM. Mengi yanaibuka. Hata jana Karoli Omondi alikuwa na mazungumzo pale Citizen TV. Kuna mambo alisema ambayo inafanya watu wajiulize maswali mingi, sana sana kusema kwamba wale ambao walijiunga na serikali, sana sana ambao tulikuwa tunaita expert kwa lugha ya Kimombo, au waliingia kwa hiari yao, na wakati baba alikuwa ametoka Dubai, baba nasikia kuzungumza na wao, na pia akasema kwamba wakati hata baba amepoteza uhai wake kama hakukuwa na mahusiano mema na baadhi ya wale ambao walijiunga katika serikali, kwa sababu Karoli amesema anajua mengi sana. Tutazungumzia hayo. Pia vile vile niliona mahojiano asubuhi pale katika bado Citizen, nikaona katibu mkuu wa chama ambaye aliyeteuliwa Omanyo akisema kwamba wale Linda Ground wakienda Kakamega saizi, wakienda Busia saizi, hata Bumala hawatapita. Ndio sasa tunasema mambo ya kidemokrasia kiko vipi. Vile vile ukienda katika mtandao utapata kwamba kuna maviongozi mbalimbali akiwemo pale naibu wa gavana wa Kakamega amesema Western ni ngome ya President William Ruto, Sifuna asidhubutu kwenda pale. Bado tunauliza tu ile mambo ya demokrasia iko aje, ama mambo iko vipi? Yeah. Pia Anthony Kibagendi pia alitolewa alipigwa marufuku katika bunge kwa takriban siku 28 baada ya kuzungumzia mambo ambayo walikuwa wanasema ni kinyume na sheria za bunge, ambapo alikashifu sana naibu wa spika nadhani na naibu wa bunge pale, akapigwa kalamu, akaambiwa atakaa nje kwa takriban 28 days. He will be out of committees and not attending the parliamentary session. So that is something that also is trending. Yesterday also we saw a hostile crowd to the MCA of Korogosho, Abisalom. Yesterday he was talking about, I think he tried to talk about Sifuna, and he was heckled before the president. And there's nothing that president like, especially when you're being emulated before him. That is one of the greatest things. And you wonder what kind of, what do the politician wants, if they don't want to listen to the people. Today also, there was election going on, especially for LSK president. People are voting today. Kanjama is one of the those who are contesting for the seat, but from all looks of things, it seems that Kanjama might be winning. Is a senior council, and it's usually running for 2 years though, so that is 2026 to 2028. We will see what is happening. Also on the trending tab is about Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is trending, and we've seen people saying that Uhuru Kenyatta was giving some money. There's a video going around, people putting on UDA t-shirts with the deputy governor from Kakamega giving out handouts with people putting on those t-shirts. I don't know when is this, but it must be old photo, but not as old as it may be. That is something is there. So the same thing, somebody still bringing the one that happened in Mombasa, mobilization and giving out handouts to the youths, and how are they going to create those employment? So that is what also is trending. I know we will have to discuss that. There's also, when you go to, do we call it Githurai? There's demolition that has happened, especially the one for Kura, and people are protesting. Some of them are saying one term, ubomoe usibomoe, bado ni one term. So those are politics of the day. Yes, msimamo.
Wajua umeyapanga mfululizo mpaka mengine yametoka. Kwa hiyo ni ombi tu kwamba tuendelee utaratibu mmoja baada ya jingine, hapo tutadadavua. Lakini sasa umeyapiga yote kwa mpigo, sasa hata sijui nianzie wapi wala hivyo nimalizie wapi.
Mimi nilikuwa nakupatia tu zile habari ambazo zimechukua kipaumbele katika nyanja za siasa, ndio sasa tutakuja kudadavua kwa lengo la leo. Unajua lengo la leo tunataka sana sana kuzungumzia ODM. Kuna Linda Mwananchi na Linda Ground, na tunataka kujua ni gani labda inapaswa iwache, kwa sababu inaleta mgawanyiko katika chama. Na sasa what is the best way forward kwa chama? Hiyo ndio tutazungumzia. Mimi nilikuwa nauliza tu kama habari unayo kupitia hiyo side yako. Okay, ndugu yetu ni kama okay, thank you so much Mr. Justice. I'll Justice Black, thank you. I will do something about it. Hey, msimamo, unanisikiza? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm still waiting for my brothers. We have Musimamo here with us. And Judith is telling us demolition is happening everywhere. And, I don't know what, especially when we are talking about the issue of Githurai, was it wrong to demolish, or was it right? I just want to know your opinion, especially Judith, you especially somebody who is coming from those sides. What is your take on it? Do you feel it was right for the Kora to demolish the those property, or those stalls for the ones that are in the road side over there, or by the place where they are? I want to know your opinion. There's also something here that is we've spoken about it quite some times now, about young people who are being recruited or recruiting themselves and go to the Russia, especially to fight or to be in the military. David Shitanda, a quest of greener pastures ended in tragedy as he died just months after joining Russia Army, where he was promised millions. uh, Details in the comments. So we know there are young Kenyans who are going to Russia or are being recruited, that they are going to work abroad and they end up being in the military. Some of them have lost their life. I was reading just a comment whereby like some of them have resorted to shoot themselves in the leg so that they can come back home. I don't know how true is that, but like this is something that we need to talk about and look at these agencies who are recruiting these young people at the time of recruitment. What are they being told specifically? And do they know what they are signing for? And what is the government doing about this population that are leaving and going abroad and they join the military, where some of them do not, they're being taken through a rapid, or let's say a crash course of military training, and you're being put in the battlefield, and the only thing that the parents will know, they will just see your photos and say that our son was in the military and is dead by now. Yes, msimamo habari gani?
Ndugu Salama, sio kama napatikana.
Ya, nakusikia vizuri sasa.
Asante. Awali ya yote labda pengine niwatakie wale ndugu zetu Waislamu waswa Ramadhan Karim na Saumu Makbul, kwa sababu wamefungua siku leo kuweza kufanya yenye tija ya kuweza kumjali hasuna kumkumbuka hasuna pia kukumbuka Mungu na kufanya yenye tija kiwanadamu. Kwa hiyo niwatakia haswa mema wale ndugu zetu Waislamu. Lakini uliniuliza hapa maswali kwamba kuna linda mama na kuna linda ground na kuna linda mwananchi. So hatimaye bahati mbaya ndio nikatemwa hapo. Kwa hiyo
Yes,
sasa si ulikuwa unamaanisha labda swali lako kwamba labda tufuate wapi, ama ilikuwa si kwamba ulikuwa linalenga wapi, labda ili tuanzie hapo kaka?
Okay, asante sana. Unajua kwa takriban tuseme kwamba sasa ni miezi minne tangu tuzike mwenda zake Raila Amolo Odinga, lakini kwa yeye kupoteza uhai imetuonesha tafsiri, ama tunaweza sema kwamba picha ambayo labda sisi ambao tulikuwa tunatarajia. Na mimi kukuleta tu ama kukwambia kwamba jana wakati Karoli Omondi alikuwa na mkutano, alijaribu kuongea baadhi ya vitu vingi, na vitu hivyo sana sana zinakita kambi katika hizi kundi miwili, tuseme kwamba Linda Ground na Linda Wananchi. Kwamba jambo la kwanza ambalo alisema ni kwamba wale watu ambao walienda kufanya kazi na serikali ambao walikuwa naitwa experts, wengi yao walienda kwa hiari yao, na mpaka siku ile baba anapoteza uhai wake hawakukuwa na mahusiano mema na wengi wao. Hakusema ni nani, lakini ni jambo ambalo labda yeye anisema. Vile vile akasema kwamba hili maneno ambayo kinaendelea, kuna mkutano ama kuna ile muktaba ambayo walishatia sahihi sana sana kule Kilgoris, Transmara. Alisema hivyo kwamba hii maneno ambayo unaona inaendelea ni kitu ambacho kilishamalizika na hakuna venye watarudi nyuma. Na unapata kwamba kuna upande bado wanasema kwamba inafaa tulete mazungumzo. Eddie sana sana wa Migori alikuwa anasema kwamba anatumai kuna siku watu wawili watakuja, hizi mrengo miwili zitakuja ziongee pamoja na zikuwe kama chama. Unaona hii inaweka chama wapi?
Kwanza mimi nashangaa kama alikuwa anajua mengi na ni kiongozi. Mbona hajatokeza mapema? Kama mfano baba au expertise wakijiunga kule, baba hakuwepo, kwa mfano kama alivyosema kwamba hakuwepo, na wala pia alipokuja hawakuwa na mahusiano mazuri na expertise. But baba mwenyewe kwa kauli yake alisema kwamba yeye amepeana hawa, na pia mfact kwamba kama baba alikuwa hajui ilikuwaje hawa watu pia baba mwenyewe atangaza kwamba hawa watu wajiuzulu na amepeana au expertise, na baba aseme yuko kwa broad based government. So sometimes wanasiasa wanatukanganya si wananchi, kwa sababu kama alikuwa anajua mengi hata alikuwa hakuna mahusiano sasa kama mazuri haswa na expertise. Lakini mbona amenyamaza huo muda wote? Na amezungumza sasa hivi akiwa baba hayupo, kwa faida ya nani sasa? So sometimes mimi nashindwa haswa kumuelewa kiongozi wa sampuli hii, kwa sababu ya kujibu mambo ambayo anazungumza. Tungefaa kuwajua mapema, ili kama ni kutendewa kazi ili tunusuru chama, basi angekuwa pengine amesaidia. Nao kimeumana. Sasa wanajua kwamba kile ilivyo, wale wote ambao wanajua kwa broad based government ili lao la yumba. Kwa hivyo the only way ni labda ni kutamani ndoto angalau warudi tena pamoja katika hiyo hadi ya kwanza. Sasa wachahia sasa kwamba vile walivyokuwa mara ya kwanza kwamba wako pamoja, basi anatamani warudi tena wafanye labda pengine sasa mageuzi mapya, kwa sababu matarajio ambayo wanategemea kutoka kwa hawa wenzi wao naona yanaendelea kuwa finyu. Lakini pia kibaya zaidi, upokelewaji na wananchi kule mashinani nao pia unakuwa na kokoro. Mfano tulishuhudia Gladys Wanga, kiongozi yule ambaye alikuwa ni mtu ambaye amesimamia hili jambo la broad based government, akiliimba akilinadi kwa moyo wake wote, na akiamua kwamba wao this time around lazima wakae kwa serikali ama watengeneze serikali. Lakini ukiangalia the response ya mwananchi juzi yake, unakuta sasa kuna tofauti. Yani it's like kwamba wananchi anasema huko ulikwenda wewe peke yako na mimi sisi tuko huko. Unaona, sasa hiyo inaleta kizungumkuti, kwa sababu ndio ile pale sasa yeye amebaki na watu. Tulikuwa tunazungumza Babu Owino kwamba wao wako na watu na wao wako na ODM. Kwa ODM bila watu si itakuwaje? Lakini watu bila ODM si itakuwaje vile vile, kwa sababu ni kizungumkuti. Kwa hiyo hii ndoto pia wamezungumza baada ya kwamba yasharibika tayari. Na siku yote mtu anaambiwa bwana anarudi, ukimwambia anaenda kuna gongo mpaka kalione. Maana hawa kama wangesikiza ushauri wa wananchi, wangesikiza medias, wangefanya research, wangechukua muda, chama kingeimarika zaidi na wakatoa tofauti zao na tamaa. But tamaa mwisho wa siku sasa zimewapeleka mahali hapo. In fact kuna wakati alifanywa interview kiongozi huyu, alinaji sana broad base. Akana maswali wewe, lakini mwisho wa siku yasharibika kaka haya Benson. Kwa hiyo kama pigani ni kurudi pamoja tanusuru, basi warudi na wamuunge mkono Sifuna na waunge mkono wananchi, wajitoe huku, labda pengine wataweza kunusurika. Lakini nao pia wakumbuke kwamba wakifanya hivyo wajiandae nao na vita, kwa sababu yoyote ambaye anapingana na serikali sasa hivi imekuwa ngori. For instance, mambo ya kubaniwa mambo ya matiagas na nini, watu nini, lakini wengine wako huru kuweza kutembea na kufanya bribe popote pale wanapoingia, wao ni sawa. But tumeona haya uhuru na media hizi ambazo ni za zamani, picha za zamani zikutumika kwamba wanafanya yale ambayo tunashuhudia na Jalango haswa kipiana mamilioni yale front of congregation, yale ambayo tumeyashuhudia na Sudi akipima hela kwa mezani, hayo hayaongelewi kwa sababu kimkuki kwa nguruwe mtamu, lakini kwa binadamu mchungu. Asante.
Okay, asante sana Joseph, how are you doing?
Yes, good afternoon or good morning from where you're interviewing us from. I want to give the people in the comment section and Mzalendo here, as we come to deliberate the issues, all I want to start to say is we want power.
What power do you want? You know, power, you cannot just get power. when for you to get power, it depends. What power are you talking about, by the way?
We want power, any power, Kenya power.
Oh, okay.
Any power. But if we don't get power, we are going to say, oh.
Yes.
So
labda Joseph, nikuletea pawa ile nyanya yangu amevuna mwenye vibuyu na ya sasa amevuna njugu kidogo, angalau pia unajua pia pawa hiyo, so labda nifanye mchakato hata duka moja kapawa hiyo nikutumania ndugu yangu, kwa sababu kama ni pawa basi hata njugu pawa na nyanya ni mdudu njugu. Sasa labda nifanye mpango nimpelekee ndugu yangu Joseph, at least aongeze power.
Okay, asante sana. Bado utaangalia, kwa sababu kuna shida na kipasa sauti yako, unakuja kama una katika sauti janyooka vile, lakini najua unaifanyia kazi. Joseph, I hope you're doing fine. Before I engage you on the Linda ground and the Linda Wanainchi and what is the way forward now for ODM, because from the look of things, it seems that all these two factions, there is major crack, especially there are those who are not coming out, but they can be either on those the factions, and I will engage you on that. We know for a fact that there was a letter that was circulated, especially for the traders who are trading at Githurai, that those shops will be demolished. And by the way, it was demolished. What is your take on it? Is it something that is of political, or is something that is of gain? You're looking at the safety because it's by the road, or the political way is part of it? When you look at the political part of it and the safety.
Thank you. I think that issue has drawn mixed reactions among Kenyans and also among me, as I am talking right now, because as we look at it, it is a very dangerous area which needs to be talked about because of safety. And I think also the buses there, if you have gone to Githurai yourself, you can see that there is no place for buses to wait, and there is always so much traffic around that area, around that roundabout, underneath the overpass, which is always there. And I think it has been crouched so much that people are doing trading there. But the other issue, which is political, is because they are saying, what I'm hearing from them, they are saying that there is a market which was built in Githurai, and it was a market which was built by the government in conjunction with the county government. But the problem is, this market cannot be able to fit all these traders. And the traders were saying that before you chase us out of here, just give us an option. Tell us how you're going to settle us down, in even if it is in the market, how you're going to arrange us inside the market. You know, one thing that happens, Brother Benson, everything in Kenya is all about money. Yes, even getting space for these markets, it's all about money. You find people always tend to get bribes so that they can be able to get stalls in these markets. I've witnessed it hand on when there was a market, even in Gekomba, there was a scenario where people are complaining because they are not getting spaces, because already the spaces, some of the cartels have booked these spaces, and even when you go and try to get one space, you are told that they are all full. But when you look at them, there is nobody who is doing the business there. So I think this thing has drawn so much mixed reactions. I think it is good for the safety of removing these guys on the road, because of in case any accidents, or also it is good for them to create a bus. But the problem is they could have engaged these people. You know, people are not like they are not like cows or goats that you can do whatever you want to do for them, and shake them wherever they want. You need to have a discussion with people. As I don't know even where the county government is lying, and I don't know where the MP of Ruiru is lying, because he's the one who is supposed to be taking these decisions and talking to the government, because Kenya is government. So they are supposed to be the MP, the MCAs who are around that region. They are supposed to be talking, even the governor. They are supposed to be, and the senator also. They're supposed to be talking with Kenha and having a meeting of how they are going to be able to deal with these issues, because if they can be able to deal with issues and call people for dialogue because of housing, why are they not calling people for dialogue because of this? Because those guys, don't forget, Brother Benson, there is mothers and fathers who are working there. And one thing I'm very angry with is, even though you are coming to demolish, why is there all the humane in you destroying somebody's sales and somebody's items? Because I've seen so many items have been destroyed there, and you know the economy of Kenya is right now, as we are speaking, it's not in good capacity. I was hearing on Didi Nyoro when he was talking. I don't know if you have heard him. He was talking about the economy situation in Kenya and saying that Kenya is the only country which has not grown within Eastern Africa, not Eastern Africa, because he was talking about Rwanda, which has grown double digits, which means it is 10 and above, and the economy of Ethiopia, which is going double digit, which is going to around 11, 12, and you could hear about Tanzania, which is even though they had all the skirmishes, their economy is well ahead of us. So he was talking about so many things that even if I conjoin them with the Githurai demolitions, because he was talking even about the road that is being built from Rironi Mau Summit Road, which is a very good project. But he was saying that in this government they must come with a but. In the government, they are going to say we are going to build, but is a matter we are going to hear them with that but of we are going to be able to ask the toll road. We are going to be asking people to be able to pay the toll of these roads, and so many people are also having mixed reaction and saying that no, it's better the road to be built to Lipe, and other people are saying, and another guy was asking about what about the Nairobi Expressway, but he was told the Nairobi Expressway is just a road which is used. You can use it if you need, or you can use it when you don't want. But this is a corridor. This road leading to Mau Summit is a corridor. So it will be very funny that from there to Mau Summit, the road will be charged. And maybe they are going even to say to Kisumu, so it will be charged. But when you are going to Uganda, which will help so many traders going to Uganda, it is going to be maybe a toll fee road, a toll road, which is going to be a problem. So these things, Brother Benson, they are happening without dialogues from the common Wanainchi who is suffering in these times of need.
Joseph, let me engage you in a economic point of view, and maybe we take politics out of it, and let's just look at economically. When you look at economically, I want to talk about, you've spoken about the Mau Summit, the road that is being constructed and tolling. I'll ask you something about that. Then I'm also coming about the issue of Githurai, because we have to weigh about the safety and we look at the economic part of it, because something that we have to agree here is that the majority of those traders who are trading within that place, economically, they've employed themselves, and they're generating, and that's where they're educating their children or running their daily life. That is one. Then secondly, we have to look at the road safety. When I was looking at the Kenha, the notice that was given, it was given a long time ago. It is a notice that has stayed there for long. And maybe the notice might have come from the wrong time when the political octane, is high. Where should we lay the blames, especially when we come to the leadership? Because when we're looking at the safety of the people, and also we are looking at the economic part of it, and you've talked about the leaders around, then you'll talk about that. Then coming to about tolling of the roads. In major towns or in major world, especially like countries that have very good structures, you find that there are places that you have to pay toll, and they are very digital. I forget about this one that you have to pay. The digital, you have to have like e-pass. They call it that e-pass, whereby you have to put it by your car. So every time you move, the cameras will take the e-pass barcode. They read it, and that's how they deduct you. Why do you think that we should not do the tolling? or why do you think we should do it?
No, I've not said we should not do the tolling, Brother Benson. What I've said, why do we need to do the tolling and we are removing road levy? We have road levy and we have taxes which are being collected from the common Wanainchi. That road is not going to be free of charge, Brother Benson. As we are using PPP. What I understand about PPP, they don't pay the whole construction of the road themselves. Yeah. The government of Kenya also chips in some money, and it's not little money, to be billions of money, which is going to be removed from the taxpayers' pocket. And in turn, the taxpayers also will need to pay for that road for another, I don't know how many years, till 2040, I think 2049. Yeah, till 2049, so that they can be able to pay off that debt of the PPP. So I'm not saying it's not a good project. You know, somebody might come here and try to fight me, say that I'm saying it's not a good project. The project is good and it's well, but what is the funding of that project? The problem is, how do we fund these projects? Because why do we need to take PPPs and we ourselves are being taxed and the road levy is being removed? Why do we need? Because the road levy was supposed to do all this kind of works. And if there is no need if there is the need of us using the PPP, I don't see as the need of removing this road levy. It's better they say there will be no road levy. We'll be paying the road tolls. They can do no roads, and then they say we'll be paying the roads in toll as they wish. And I've seen Eric talking about people being given notice. Notice is not the issue, Brother Benson. Notice is not the issue. The issue is about are they trying to engage those people who are working there? You know, the problem is, whether you like it or not, Brother Benson, that one will be politicized. Yeah, whether we want it or not, that will be politicized, because we're entering into the political time, and that one will be one of the things that will be used against the president himself. And that is something we have seen even with Uhuru Kenyatta. They shifted some people when they were building the hospitals. You remember the NMS hospitals? Yeah. And it was a very big deal. And let me tell you, when it is political, even when the thing is good, because I've not said shifting those, you have me right. I did not say shifting those guys was not the best option. It is the best option for them, and it is the safest option for them. And it is good for them because also it's good for the Matatu Association, because they get the stage for the bus there. But the issue is, how will people view it? That is the only issue. Because of how they demolish those things in the morning. I don't know if you have seen those videos well. It seems like they are saying that the government is so much angry with them, and it has decided to finish them. Yeah. All about the gateway to somewhere or gateway to nowhere, that does not have anything that is interfering with the safety. But that one was the political side of it, and it's a must everything in Kenya to be politicized. Even everything that will be good, even the Talanta Stadium itself, it is good, Brother Benson. But the problem is, how are we going to pay this Talanta Stadium for the years that we have been told to pay? It's good, all these projects are okay, I don't argue with them, but the problem is, how is the common Wanainchi feeling about them? How are they feeling about them? Because you building that stage is okay, the terminals will be okay, but in the long run, the terminals will be there, but these people, you could have tried to engage them and see how you are going to facilitate them with somewhere they can be able to lay down wherever they want. And I think if this government can be paying attention, let me talk even, because even if Eric is saying Kenya is not government, it is government. They are the ones who are building the roads for the government. So it's the government who gives you the eviction order. So if the national governments want to learn, they can learn from the likes of Akina Mutai Kago. That guy, they had a war between you remember they were being told to change their stage from where they were to the modern stage that was being constructed. He was able to dialogue with them. He did not go and tell them that remove your vehicles. We are going to, if you see the vehicle here, we are going to break the windscreen or something. He dialogued with them. And one thing I know in this country that has been very familiar is dialogue. They might be there in the wrong, but you as a country leader, people, when they view you that you're coming to destroy their livelihoods, it becomes very strenuous. You know, people might talk that kwa barabara watoke, but I'm telling you, a lady there is getting maybe is 200, has 200 or 300 from there.
Yeah,
So the thing that is needed is a dialogue.
But that's why I was asking you, Joseph, because like one thing that we know before I invite Musimamo, we have to agree everything that usually happens, especially in Kenya, we all have to agree it will be politicized. Everything that is happening. But now, you know, like there's a place now we have to lay the blame, and the blame actually, to me, from where I sit, I was laying the blame on the leadership. And what leadership am I blaming the blame on? I'm blaming the blame on the leadership of the executive. I'm blaming the
Yes.
blame on the leadership of the county, and
Yes.
all the hierarchy of leaders who are there.
And the legislature also, Brother Benson, and the legislature, which are the MPs in that region.
Yeah, MPs in that region. Because remember, when they were campaigning, during the campaigns, they do allow, you know, they do allow people or the voters to trade there, you know, to do their business there. But immediately after the campaigns, including all the legislature around there, all these are coming, knowing very well that they should, when you look at the safety of the people, you know, they know it is not right. It's not only in Githurai. We have one in Kisumu. If you go to Kondele area that's within the roundabout, you would see from the vicinity around that area, there was a time they wanted to plant some flowers, you know, around that to do beautification of that roundabout. It did not take place because like around, like within the roads there, I mean, they interchanging them, the people who are majority of people are doing business there. So you find that the leaders sometimes they look at their political career, then they say, okay, let this law get violated, but it is clearly lies on them. So that is what I think.
You know, Brother Benson, there has been so many encroachments. You know, we talk about roads only. There has been too much encroachment. I don't know if you have ever traveled with a train from Nairobi from Nairobi passing through Kibera to the other parts of going to Kikuyu, because it always goes there. I don't know if you have ever used the train through those areas, and you reach the vicinity of Kibera and you see how they have encroached in the railway. I don't know if you have ever gone there.
Line Saba, when you are by
yes, because I was traveling with the train always when I'm going to Nairobi in the morning and coming in the evening. But I can tell you that place has been encroached, and there is no day you are going to hear any leaders telling them. I think even that one is a very safety hazard. I don't know if you have ever passed there and you see the safety hazard that is there. If that train can just derail from the rails, it is disaster over disaster. So I think the problem is civic education amongst our people. It is lacking. It is lacking and it is lagging. Because also, you know, let me tell you, Brother Benson, those people, when they are selling their things there, it will be easy for them to capture somebody who is in a matatu, and they are going to be able to, you know, I heard somebody saying, unataka mtu atoke kwa gari hapo akienda labda kwa safari zake, aingie kwa soko huko kununua tomato, lakini mtu akiwa hapo kwa barabara ataweza kumpatilia tomato na wamalizani. You know, those are the kind of things that people need to be given civic education. And that's why I'm saying there was supposed to be a dialogue between these guys and the traders who are working there. The problem is, even if they were given the eviction notice are always given, even for the people who are built along the river banks. You remember the building even which had been built between the road? You remember that building? There was a building which had been built on the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And it was set for devolution. I think Ayaga, one thing I did not know he has told me is that they were paid. So I don't. If they were paid, then it means it is the problem for them. If they were paid in full, that means those guys were supposed to have shifted there. If they were compensated, for sure, I can tell you they're supposed to shift from there. But now the problem is shifting is okay, but is the civic education being done by these governors? And they say they have so many people, Brother Benson, in the county. We have CECs. What is the work of the ministers of the county? What is the work of all these MCAs we have? What is the work of the MP? And we quite have MPs around that area. What is the work of all these officials who are supposed to deal with these issues, not being able to give civic education to these people? But I know even them, they know in their hearts is not the best way to do it. They know it is not for their safety. But the problem is, Brother Benson, with the way our economy is looking, it's not looking nice. And anytime you take something from somebody, hata hiyo 100 is hustling, hiyo 100 tu anatafutia kupatia mtoto kitu, it becomes very nasty now, because it is going to be nasty. In Githurai, it will not be. I foresee even a scenario where the president will be touring there. It will be a very bad scenario. I can surely tell you.
That is true. Politically looking at it, that's why I was telling you there are two things that we have to weigh here. And I know for the president, and even for all these politicians, it's not only to be good for the president, it's also going to be bad, especially for the politicians who are coming from that constituency and are allied to the president, because they will feel that the legislature is not fighting for us. But now, on the government side, also, you have to look at what are the strategies that they could have put in place, especially to make sure that the economic hub or the circulation of money in that area, for instance, let's say like that area, majority of people who are buying food stuff are there. Are the people who, some of them are alighting from the bus, some of them are boarding in there. And
then also one thing I want to add, Brother Benson, some of these markets, when you look at the locations they are building, they are not favorable locations.
Yeah,
some of them. Some of them, they are even very far from where, like you see Kekomba. You know why Kekomba, they refused to go to the markets. They refused to go to those market that was open. That's why you see every time there is banning, and I don't know what, because they always say they are being chased out. It's because of the location of the market. People want to sell their commodities, but even when you want to open a business, you want your business to be seen somewhere, you can be able to be seen. And then one thing you have said that has made me also think of something is when people are alighting, somebody wants to take his things as he has gone. People are tired. Maybe they don't want to go to the market. Not every day is a market day. So you see, this is a very difficult conversation. But the problem is, who are supposed to tackle these conversations? So they are the leaders who are in the area. They have failed in their mandate of registration and be able to take it's called public participation to these guys and tell them you are being chased out not because of the will, because of political issues or what. You're being chased out because your safety lies upon this, and we have put measures that you are going to be given some places of where you can be able to put up your businesses.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph. And maybe before to invite Musimamo, and also that is what I was talking about, because like we know the business thrive there because of the commuters. So if you are constructing a market, especially for people, for these people to go and sell, or this trader to go and sell, there's no way in which you want to construct this market. Remember, it's along the road, and you want to make sure that these cars, the transporters, the public service, they have to have like a place whereby they have to branch to drop, because they should not even drop by the roundabout. That is something that if it is they're following the traffic rules, you should not drop by there. So there's a place where they should go, drop and pick. So after doing that, you make sure that they go and drop by that mark where that market is. That is the way you can take off the people around here. But if you want
they can also build a bus service near the market. Yes, it's much easier.
There is no way in which you want to say that, okay, you want to take the traders out of existence, yet you still leave the transportation sector to operate in that area. You shall have not solved the issue.
I think also how the road was built, as you bring Musimamo, the road, how it was built, that Rika road around Githurai, it is not fancy. It is not fancy at all. I think if you have gone there, you can clearly see that the service lane that is always in the left side and the right side, if you are going to, maybe we say when you're going to Nairobi, the service lane that is always in the left and the right side, there is always that roundabout. I don't know what they could have done, Brother Benson, about that roundabout, because it is also a menace. You can be saying even about traders, but also that the way that road was designed there, it was not of the best of the designs, because Githurai is somewhere where we have so many people. and there is a population of too much people. So I think they could have done something like the way they are building these roads we are seeing.
All right, thank you so much. Msimamo, pole sana kwa kukuweka sana. Msimamo, wewe wacha nikurudishe kwa mada. This was out of topic kidogo ya the Githurai issue because Joseph, you know, that is his hometown, so he might be having more information. But Msimamo, tulikuwa tunazungumzia what is the way forward, the Linda ground or the Linda Inchi. We are seeing Governor Wanga is saying that Sifuna hajaondolewa katika chama. Yeah, Sifuna, Gladys Wanga anasema kwamba ODM ijaondoa Sifuna na wanasema kwamba Sifuna ametolewa kwa nyadhifa wake kwa sababu ya nidhamu, na vile vile unapata kwamba kuna ile kauli ambao washafika. Wanga alisema vizuri kwamba akiangalia wale ambao wamesimama na President William Ruto, hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza mshinda, na including the party leader of ODM cannot compete from the way she talks, because he said that in Kijaluo when she was in Aero the other day, he said all people that are running for presidential seat, there's no any other person who could beat President William Ruto apart from the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. It means that even them, they're not very sure of that. So where are they going as a party? Now, where is the interest of the people?
Asante. Nadhani hili nilizungumza kabla nitimliwe na nikasema hivi, alina tofauti ile tu interview, kwa sababu Gladys Wanga sasa hivi ndo amekumbuka shuka kumekucha. Alikuwa mstari wa mbele huyu. Kwa hivyo wameona mambo hayaendi alivyotarajia. Wananchi bado hawanunui hii lugha ya kwamba tukiwa karibu na serikali ndio tutakuwa na power, tutakuwa na nguvu. So hii lugha imeshinda mazima. Lakini vibaya mno, kibaya zaidi ni kwamba chama ndo wamekiweka wenyewe kwenye mdomo wa mamba. Kwa wako katikati hapa. Kwa hivyo cha msingi sasa kile ambacho wanakizungumzia ni kwamba at least waone kwamba wananchi watatuliza pengine yule munkar, ni kuzungumza kwamba hatujamfukuza huyu. Sasa kama hamjamfukuza, mbona huyu mama aliyoteuliwa ndo ana act kama SG? Na kama hawajamfukuza, nini mikakati iko pale ambayo itaendeleza kwamba aidha wananchi waelewe kwamba kuna mikakati ya kinidhamu mpaka muda fulani itakuwa imeisha, na bwana huyu tutamleta katika at least. But wao wanasema mtu hayupo, hamjamfukuza, wakati mlikuwa mstari wa mbele kuweza kutomsikiza, kutofanya kile ambacho kilikuwa kina tija. Lakini vile vile hata kukinzana na mahakama ilipositisha kwamba bwana hafai kuondoka, wao ndo walikuwa kwanza kupinga kule Mombasa, wakizungumza kwamba hapana, na wakateua yule waliomuona kwamba anafaa kama SG. Nao impact ni kwamba bwana wamemtoa, lakini wamegundua kwamba chama kimebaki na Sifuna. Lakini na kwamba hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza mshinda Ruto, alikuwa ni baba tu peke yake. Ni uongo, hata baba pia hakumshinda, kwa sababu tulikuwa na yeye 2022, ambona hakuchukua ushindi. Tumekuwa ndizo dokezi zingine. So hii ya kwamba baba ndio mtu peke yake, yote ni kama kuongeza utashi pale. Lakini kinachomuuma sasa hivi anamdilia ndugu yake Sifuna, angalau wangerudi tena kutengeza chama na waamue kutoka haswa, kwa sababu matarajio yao waliowafikiria hayajakaa. Kwanza hawana mbavu, mali wamekwenda, ni watu wa kuuliza, ni watu wa kupangiwa. Lakini vile vile sasa inakuwa ngumu kueleweka katika masuala lazima na wananchi. Kwa hiyo walinda ground kwa kweli inaishia patupu, maana wanalinda ground ambayo ground hiyo wanailinda wananchi. Kwa yule ambaye anawazungumzia kuwahusu, kwa yule ambaye amesimama kidedea na msimamo kwamba mimi niko hapa na sitaungana na huyu kwa sababu hii na hii na hii na hii. Hapa wao wanazungumzia power, hapa huyu anazungumzia mwananchi. Kwa hiyo linda ground kwa kweli inaishia patupu, kwa sababu inakuwa ngumu. Kama linda ground itakuwa hii tuliyoiona haswa Kisumu, wananchi wakizungumza Babu Owino badala ya Gladys Wanga, ni kuonyesha wazima kule wananchi wapo. Na si wao tu, kuna yale yalifanyika kule sehemu za Nandi. Ground imechange automatically. Kuna yale yalifanyika kwa yule mama alijiita Simbajike, So ground imechange, amegundua kwamba ground haipo kabisa kwa Bwana Ruto. Kwa hiyo kilichobaki ni kutafuta angalau kupunguza, angalau apate sasa kunyenyekea, arudi sasa, kama ni mazungumzo wapange tena upya, of which ashamwagika haya.
Okay, asante sana.
Lakini na mwisho pia niongezee hili lilikuwa mnasema lina tija, ili la Githurai. Si vibaya sehemu watu kuondolewa kama kutakuwa kuna jambo ambalo litawafaidisha. Lakini sasa kuna jinsi ambavyo lipelekwe hilo jambo kwa wale ambao ni walengwa. Kumbuka wanabiashara wao wanapata riziki zao kwa siku. Kitabu kimuondolea, umemuulia siku yake. Alafu kibaya zaidi, mtaji wa maskini, yani mtaji wa maskini ni nguvu zake mwenyewe. So unapombolea yule mchuzi pasipokuwa na mipango thabiti na mikakati thabiti ya kuweza kumzuia, inakuwa ngumu. Sasa itakuwa sasa ni kinyume. Pili, pia kuna wakati wa hilo linafanyika haswa kwamba lifanyika kwamba akuwe kuna uwiano, kuna hiyo hamasa. Kakaangu Joseph alikuwa anazungumza kwamba wananchi wamepewa hamasa na wameeleweshwa, lakini si lala kukicha watu. Polisi ndio hawa tena, polisi wengi, si kwamba ni kidogo, kana kwamba kuna ugomvi na kuna vita. Ni kwamba hapa hakuna elimu ya kutosha ambayo imeweza kuhamasishwa hapa. Labda kuna mvutano baina ya hawa wachuzi na haswa serikali, lakini kwa sababu ndio yenye nguvu na mwenye nguvu mpishe, ndio yanafanyika haya sasa ya kiguni ponye na wingi wa maskari. Na mwisho kabisa, si haya mambo na maskari, si kwamba tu ni kwa kuvunja peke yake. Tunaona hata tunashuhudia katika mikutano sasa hivi, so hatusielewi kwamba tunaelekea wapi. Kwa kimtazamo wangu, hili limeshusha mtu tena, limemshusha mtu mazima, maana kura za hawa uongo hazita kwenda kwa sababu ya hii hali.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Joseph. I want you also to give us your view, because like I hope yesterday you had an opportunity to watch Ruth Odinga at KTN, and the same time Karoli Omondi was in Citizen. But there are few things that stood out, especially if we start with the Ruth Odinga. Ruth Odinga is saying that Sifuna was not given a fair hearing, and in that case she supports Sifuna. Then if you go on the other side also, Karoli Omondi was saying that okay, they wanted Sifuna to go and attend those meetings, yet there were goons hired. So how can you attend the meeting where you know very well that there are goons who were hired to come and wrap you up or to beat you up just because you have a different view on how things are being done? And now if you compare this to factions based on what has been said, and with the ODM, and now Wanga, maybe some of them are talking of how they should come together and reconcile these two groups. Do you see that possibility?
Thank you so much. I have so much to talk about that issue. And first I want to speak to notify you and give you some news alert that the brother of Babu Owino has just been arrested and has been taken. And he has just removed a statement saying that he does not know where his brother has been taken. But
Brother-in-law.
He needs him to be brother-in-law. I mean, yeah, brother-in-law. Yeah. And he thinks he's taken somewhere, and he's in Comunicado because he cannot be able even to reach him. And he himself is the one who has said with his mouth, I'm not saying here causing aspersion, but he has said that Raymond Omolo is the person involved in this.
Yeah,
he has given even the number. Yeah, he has accused him. That's why I say I don't want to cause aspersion here, because that is what he has said with his mouth. And he has said that Raymond Omolo is the one who has just ordered some of the policemen. Even he has given one of them the number and his name. So I think things are getting darker as we are heading towards campaign period. You know, we are entering into campaign period. I don't know why people are not talking about that. We are remaining only some few months. We enter to the campaign period. Your mic is muted, Brother Bess.
I mean, campaigns are going on.
Yeah, even we are entering the mandated campaign period, and I don't know how it is gonna be because it is remaining only maybe some 3 months before we hit the campaign trail. Maybe it will start August or September. So me coming to the issue about ODM. Yesterday I was not fortunate to hear about the interview of Ruth Odinga. I just passed through it. But the interview I clearly heard was the one for Karori Omondi and Eddie Okeche. I really I had that interview, the full interview of it from when they were talking. And one thing stood out. You have just said that Ruth Odinga said that Sifuna was not given a fair hearing. And that one I can believe with Ruth Odinga, because Karori Omondi came and said that there was 2 meetings which were held that day. And one of the meeting that was held was the first meeting that was held in the morning. It had indicated that Sifuna will continue to be the Secretary General. And that information was relayed. It was relayed, I remember even seeing it in the social media saying that Sifuna has not been removed at the SG. Then later after, I think the second meeting that took place, we saw a place and the scenario of being told that Sifuna has just been removed as the SG. I think also there was a hand which played in that whole scenario, because you cannot tell me that in the morning you are saying you're not removing the SG, but after some hours during the afternoon you hear them saying that Sifuna has just been removed as the SG. There were certain aspects that I listened to Karori Omondi and they were very fascinating, because Eddie Okech was sitting on the fence in that interview, if you saw. He was not going in deep. He was talking about how they are going to have the dialogue. But Karori Omondi was going at it through and through and saying that they are saying that nobody can be able to run in as a candidate against William Ruto in ODM party. And it clearly said that what is ODM if they are not going to be able to have a candidate within or have a person who is going to, they are not going to go for the presidency, they are not going to go for the deputy presidency. What kind of negotiations are that? I think negotiations are based, Brother Benson, with you wanting to acquire that thing that they are saying, power. I think negotiations are supposed to be aligned within that. But you cannot tell me that you are coming to take power, and you yourself, you have already said we don't want these positions. We don't want deputy Okiti Sitaki. Even as they were talking, I felt to laugh when Karori Omondi said that the youth leader Oburu Odinga said he does not want the deputy. Then after Jeff told him that he has said he wants the deputy, and there was a go back and forth, which the truth is, Brother Benson, youth leader cannot be able to go for these seats for the deputy and the presidency. And one thing that I noted is, Brother Benson, do you know that in ODM, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. It is not stated that once you become a party leader, you're supposed to become the presidential candidate. That is not what is stated in the constitution of the party. You can become a party leader, but you're not the presidential candidate. Another person will become the presidential candidate. And we saw it even in Raila's time, when he called for interviews for people who wanted to be presidential candidates in ODM. You remember? And they went at it for even not only Raila, even Ruto. There was a lady. Was it a lady or was it who went at it to compete for the presidential ticket?
A lady.
Yeah, it was a lady. Yeah? So it's not given that once you're a party leader, you must become. Even right now, even though Rigathi Gachagua is not in any papers of saying that he's going to be the party leader, he cannot become a party leader of a political party until his case is either hard determined. He cannot. So what will happen is, if DCP wants to give a presidential candidate, they need to give it to a person within the party who is certified, as we know, because we are always told that once you are impeached, that you cannot be able to run for this, to vie for this seat for 10 years. So coming back to the base of ODM and talking about how the structures and how they want to do the dialogue. Brother Benson, you cannot come and do a dialogue when already you have made your own decisions. They have made decisions that we don't need the Secretary General to go to Sifuna, and you have given the party position that the Secretary General is the one who was the assistant to Sifuna, and already that one is a case deal. So even once the dialogue, What do you think will come out of the dialogue? Will they say that, no, Sifuna, now you can come back to become a Secretary General? Or what will be the dialogue? Will they tell him that now you're going to become the party leader of the party? Or you're going to become the flag bearer of the party? Those dialogues I think they can never work, because once the boat has sailed, it has sailed. And I think now it's time they are trying to do the cover up, because already it is dawning on them that it is not easy. It's not easy as they thought, they anticipated, and it's going to be a very rough time. Once first I've heard that in Kakamega they have given some other people money to be able to disrupt the meeting that is going to be there, and I think in Kakamega it's going to be a war. It is going to be a war of Aradi. Because do you know, even Busia, it was not easy for them to enter in Busia, Brother Benson. Busia, they had been blocked by the police, but the youth, with their persistence, they were able to reach to Busia, the stadium that they were going. And in Kitengela, you saw what happened. What do you expect will happen in Kakamega? Kakamega will be like a war front that will be there. And we have seen even the governor, I don't know if it is his true social handles, that are saying that there is no meeting that is going to be held in Kakamega. So these are kind of the things that you certainly see, and you can know that it is not going to be, there is no dialogue that can be between these guys. It's either they go at it head on with war. And now, as I asked here, Brother Benson, you know, I'm an analyst and I always analyze things within fair means. I asked you, what do you think about the NDC in 27th of March? And truly, we said here in one unison, it is going to be a war. Yesterday, you heard even Jeff Koinange. I hear some of the quotas are calling him Jeff Joinyambe. Jeff Koinange. He asked he asked them, Eddie Okech, and he asked Karolio, because Karolio Omondi even has left ODM, I think. He has already left ODM. He's even planning his own party. He asked, what about the NDC? He asked to Eddie Okech, well, how is the NDC going to be? And Eddie Okech also was not able to answer that question, because it is going to be a tug of war in that NDC. I don't think even it will happen. Even Karoli Omondi also added and said, do you think even it's going to happen? I don't even see it happen, because if those guys, if the group faction of Akina Sifuna, Babu, Winnie Odinga, and all the rest, and even Akina, you know, Onyonka is an ODM party member, don't forget. Caleb Amisi is also an ODM party member. So it is going to be, I don't know how that meeting is going, and already, if they have already entered into the discussion with UDA, because that is what they are already formalized, it is going to be as that. It is going to be war, because the decision has already been made in that NDC that they are going to support the UDA broad-based government, and there is no, you know, they say that huwezi kagoja kama kondoo ati uende kwa koti ya inaitwa bweha, uende koti la bweha tunataka kupata justice. You can never get justice in the court of a wolf once you are a sheep. But one thing I want to indicate here before I finish my thoughts, my line of thoughts, is there was one thing that was said and it really touched me, that they have made decisions about how they are going to go at it in this broad-based arrangement. And even Raila himself had said that they need to have settled the 10-point agenda before 27th March. And I think 7th or 27th, I don't remember, but they said they are going to have done, Ruto was supposed to have fulfilled the 10-point agenda. And Raila was saying he could have checked. After that, he had said that we are going to have more talks after the 10-point agenda. If they are fulfilled, if they are not fulfilled, we are going to have another way at it. So it is very unfortunate that, Brother Benson, not only 150 days have not ended since we buried Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, that the party itself is going to an agreement which Baba himself had said, don't go to things once you have not talked to the common Wanainchi who are the members of the party. And it's so ashaming also that the party that Baba built through sweat and tears, within 20 years, has just been split within 150 days, which is 4 months. It's very unfortunate. It is very bad. I feel very bad for the supporters or the members of ODM. It is very unfortunate. Baba legacy is being ruined by people who are very power hungry. And there is a question which was asked by a person, even I think the members who are there, I think was Beatrice Elachi and the Secretary General, because today they were in Citizen doing the Swahili, I think, broadcasting, which was I don't know, they call it the county water. And the person who was being interviewed, they were interviewing people, local Wanainchi within the certain areas. I don't remember where it was. I don't remember if it was Nyamira or where the person asked, why has Oburu, Raila himself did not appoint Oburu as any party official in ODM? That was the question he really asked. And I could see that in the faces of Beatrice Elachi and that lady called, what is her name? I don't know even her name. I think Catherine. They were so much ashamed about that, because if it could have been given, I think they could have given it to the deputies. There was deputies who were supposed to rise up and become the party leaders. That is a question which was not answered.
Before I invite Msimamo, when you look at especially what happened during the transition to where we are, even from somebody who is not an ODM member, from the look outside, without going into nitty-gritties of the party, something would raise a red flag for you, because one of the things that people have really asked, especially that people are asking in a normal circumstances. Jemo Mombati, thank you so much for your contribution, and Shema. In a normal circumstances, in the home, even if you have a family business that you are running in the homes, there are things that could happen, especially when even the president of or a CEO of a company dies. It is usually the next immediate leader will always be the leadership, because they tend to believe like the deputy knows how this company has been running.
Brother Benson, and he said that the party is just like a club. Do you go just and take the goalkeeper and put him as the manager of the club?
No, you
put the vice chair who is the vice manager of the club
for interim basis. Then from there you will have to consult and see who is best fit for the position. We are not saying that is fit.
And what was the rush with them? And what was the rush with them putting Brother Benson? What was the rush with them putting Oburu as a party leader? And they had all the time in the world to be able to call for an NDC. What was the rush in that?
Those are the questions that people are asking. So those are like the nitty-gritties and red flags that people are asking. What was the rush? Then even before the body of your brother arrives home, then you're already in the leadership. How do you even in your status of mind, especially after losing a brother, you want to make a decision? It is not very easy, because you're making a decision. That state of mind, if you lose somebody that is very important to you, and you're being told, okay, now you have to be the interim in charge of the company, it doesn't make sense, but that's how it works. Let me bring in Msimamo. Msimamo, wewe unadhani wakirudisha Sifuna venye wanasema, unadhani watakuwa wa kweli, ama hii ni ile utapeli huwa tuna ile baba alikuwa anasema we ni kuku unapatiwa mahindi alafu wanakutega pale, kwa sababu wanajua what Sifuna stands for?
Nimesema awali, yote yakimwagika hayazoleki, na akizoleka pia hayarudi kuwa tele, yatabaki kuwa sina, yani nusu. Lakini vile kila mwana mbavuze, hawa walilia wembe wameshopata, wapambane na hali yao. Nilikuwa Sifuna mimi, nadhani hayo ndio alikuwa maamuzi yangu, pambane na hali yenu. Mliniambia mie sifai, ngoja nitazame kule ambako wenzangu wana mawazo sawia na nigande huko pia, ili mwisho wa siku watu wasome kutokana na hilo, kwamba liwe fundisho haswa. Kwa hiyo tumi naweza nikasema kutakuwa pengine kuna kama watarudiana, kwa sababu ni mwanadamu na maamuzi yake hayo ni ya msimamo, kwamba ningeacha kila kitu huko, madamu mentoa pambana na hali yenu hiyo, acha nijipange kujiimarisha kisiasa. Lakini sasa kama watarudi pamoja anyway kuweza kuganga chama hiki, basi nadhani wengi wao hapa hawatakuwa na sauti.
Okay, asante sana. Wacha nikupeleke Linda Ground kidogo, alafu Linda Ground na Linda Ground watakuwa Siaya on Saturday. Na maybe to ask Joseph, maybe I don't know whether what view can you give us? We saw Oburu Odinga had number of leaders, including the deputy governor for Siaya, that is Oduol. And Otiende Amollo was missing from that big meeting. I did not see them taking that photos when he was consulting the Siaya leaders. Otiende Amollo was missing from that. And Orengo. So there was Otiende Amollo and Orengo were missing. And we saw deputy governor, whom they even impeached, the party themselves, that he was not agreeing with Orengo. Remember when he went to the Senate, but now he's being brought in. What does this one signify? What does it show you when the governor is missing, Otiende Amollo was missing, and they are bringing in a deputy governor whom the party decided to impeach, that they are working with UDA then?
Well, Benson, it's a very funny game. I'm telling you, it is a very funny game, and it is stating those guys very badly within their images. Just as you have said that they brought in a deputy governor who was impeached, I think they want to groom him up for becoming the Siaya governor for the next election. But certain things that you have said there that I need you to notice. There is people you have not seen talking about party affairs. There is Otiende Amollo, who was a very vocal person. If there is a person I always watch his interviews in medias and everywhere, was Otiende Amollo. We have not seen the likes of Akina, what do we call him? Kajwang. What do we call him, Kajwang? We call him Kajwang. No. What his son? What is his son? Moses Kajwang. We have not seen Moses Kajwang. We have not seen Millicent Odhiambo. Have you seen her? Maybe I saw her in some of the ladies. I don't even remember. I think she was there. We have seen some people who have sat on the fence because they are also not very sure with this thing and what they are doing. Because if you are very keen, you can be able to say that, okay, we are taking it as it is, and tumekasirika, tutaingia tuseme tunataka broad based na hii mambo ishe. But I think also some party members, ODM, they had said, let us watch this, how it's going to happen, and how it is going to materialize between these two factions, and what is going to be the last resort. You have seen the MCA of, what is the MCA of Kileleshwa, or is the MCA of where? This guy called Aladwa.
Yeah,
Aladwa, even though he was in broad-based, he has seen too much problem in Nairobi today. Was it today or yesterday? Yesterday. People were heckling him. They did not want him to talk. And, he's also a strong supporter of the broad-based government. That one should tell you something. There is members of parliament, I'm really feeling pity for them, because I'm seeing that in the next election, they are not going to be there. There is something that Karoli Omondi said, and we need to pick it from here. He was talking about how ODM in the was it the 2017 election, ODM had 89 members of parliament. It had 89 members of parliament. But do you know how many members of parliament ODM has right now? They are less than that. And he was talking and saying, okay, as you see ODM having those members of parliament going less and less, they are going to be even more lesser in the coming elections, because once you have a party which cannot be able to be in full cohesion and knowing where they are going, some of the people are going to start scattering everywhere. And let me tell you one thing. If there is people who are going to feel the pressure about this whole deal of broad-based, or either you are one term, the pressure is going to be in areas I'm going to mention below. And those areas are strongholds, which were strongholds of ODM. Most of them, and some of them I'm going to mention right now, I'm not going to be afraid to mention, it's Nairobi. Nairobi will be a disaster for ODM. This one I'm clearly telling you right now, because people like even Akina Bichi Selachi, even the area that Bichi Selachi commands, I've been I'm a neighbor of that area, so I know the topography of the people who stay there, mostly of them, and mostly the people who stay in that area. They come from a certain community which is always from the guy who is being kicked out, and it's not going to be a walk in the park for certain MPs and governors and senators who are going to be running on ODM tickets in Nairobi. And that goes to say even Kajiado will be a headache for ODM, where it has been a party which has been taking members of parliament and governor. And when we go to Kisii, Kisii and Nyamira, I think they have already rocked the boat, and they are ready even to do whatever. I think even Onyoka is just waiting for time so that he can be able to just abandon the ship. And even in Mombasa, it will be a very tight race for ODM. And now, if you look at those things that I'm telling you, Brother Benson, it certainly says one thing, that ODM as it is standing, the values and the core that they were standing for, they already eroded, because the values that ODM was standing for and Baba was standing for are fighting for the Wanainchi. Right now, the Wanainchi is not feeling like the ODM is fighting for them. They are now fighting for positions. They are fighting for how we are going to get positions in the government, how we are going to get CSs in government. And I think, what broke ODM, Brother Benson?
What?
Raila Odinga has been having so many handshakes in the past. He has had handshakes with 3 governments, which was one Moi and Kibaki and Uhuru.
Mm-hmm.
But just take a look at the two handshakes between Moi and Ruto. Do you know the handshake between Moi and Raila made Raila walk out of Kanu? You remember? Raila walked out of Kanu.
But Joseph, let me just tell you something. This is my observation before you continue. When you look at the handshakes that Raila has always had, there are handshakes with condition. That is one. Secondly, Raila will always accommodate everybody, especially those who disagree with him on his party, to go for handshake, because it usually give him high chances to get good positions. Remember, even when he had a handshake with Moi, he went with those who did not want him to go. By then, when he was having his political party, he ended up getting.
But Brother Benson, you know why I brought in that conversation is among us the 2 handshakes that Raila had between Kibaki and Uhuru. For Kibaki is because it was a grand coalition. You remember?
Yes.
It was a grand coalition. So it means that Raila was a must be having ministers in government. But when we look at this one for Uhuru Kenyatta, you know why that did not break ODM? It did not break ODM because there was no members who were taken to the cabinet slots. You remember in 2017, no member was taken to the cabinet slots from ODM, but they really got what they wanted. Raila took so much development to Kisumu from 2018 to 2022. So I think the whole scenario of them having CSs in government, I think what Raila was saying is that he was thinking, okay, I'll give them a chance so that they can be able to bring change. Raila was a person who was thinking about change all the time and how he can be able to better the country. But I don't think he thought that his sunset days were coming to a close as before we had gone for the 2027. Because I'm telling you, the Raila that I know, Brother Benson, could have not be himself talking about, no, we are going to have I am telling you before God, Brother Benson, the Raila Odinga I know could have not been a person who could have said, you are not going for any slot of the presidency and the deputy. Never. That one is a lie. They don't come and lie to us. That one, nobody can be able to lie to you. If it was Raila Odinga who was at that time, he could have it's better he could have groomed somebody who could have been able to take over, even if he could have not, his health could have been not capable to take over. He could have groomed somebody to be able to. The whole essence of a party, Brother Benson, is being able to go for these top positions. Why do you see Jubilee is dead? We say Jubilee is dead. We say which other party? PNU is dead. Why? They were parties which were used to grab power. And right now, that is the same thing we have been told by the youth leader, tunataka power. That is the thing he's saying. And if it is a very dangerous scenario when you're saying you just want power, it means you're not thinking about the party. Because the party PNU, Brother Benson, we were there. PNU imekuwa sasa ni kama gari tu iendi pahali popote. Jubilee has ruled the country 2 times, and now it is not a political party. Even this UDA, just wait for it. When the president is done, even if he's not going for one term, it is going to be a dead party by 2027. I'm going to assure you. And the only party that was left and undefeated in Kenyan politics was ODM, because ODM was built on the grounds of protecting the citizens of Kenya, and it was built with maandamano. And that's why Babu brought you to why ODM, how ODM has been, and it has built its great support base. It's because they have known themselves that they were the reason behind the people. That everything you see in ODM was maandamano. They refused the constitution 2005. They brought in the new constitution. You remember, ODM was a very big member in bringing the new constitution. They even had brought BBI. You remember BBI, Brother Benson? And they have brought this broad base we are talking about. But the terms of the broad base is the issue, because the 10-point agenda were indicated there. There's no way Gladys Wanga is going to come and tell us that the 10-point agenda, after we get into a negotiation, is when it's going to be fulfilled. Raila Odinga himself, I heard him with my own ears. He said that if the 10-point agenda is not going to be fulfilled by I think March 7 or 27, I'm confusing the date, that they are going to think of another issue, another thing, because it was a laid formula, and it was signed, and I think Raila Odinga knew it better, and that's why he said, who told you? And you can see Sifuna even put in the chat, who told you that we are going to go to negotiations? And Raila himself, Brother Benson, we had the last words of Raila when he was talking. Wachana watu wanasema wanapigiwa simu, walikuwa wanapigiwa simu na wengine mpaka wanaota. Raila Odinga talked in his last speech. He said clearly that you cannot be able to go to negotiations without talking to the people. Okay. So the people, is it only Wanga? Is Wanga only the people? Is Joho the only the people? You need to go back to the people. And I think they are feeling very ashamed. That's why you have seen they have started coming with some such formula like Rinda Ground, because they saw the Sifuna faction has started going to take the court of, it's called you can have the court of the original court of the land, and you can have the court of public opinion. And let me tell you, the court of public opinion is dangerous than even the court that you are having in the system of Kenya. Thank you. Sorry for taking the much time.
Thank you so much. I was waiting for Marco Bora, but he has just texted me that he's stuck somewhere, because I need to be somewhere. But before I leave, I want to give Msimamo at least to weigh his thoughts on what is happening when the leaders, especially those who are aligned to President William Ruto, who are in Kakamega, especially the deputy governor, Ayub Sivula, is telling Sifuna that Kakamega is the bedrock of President William Ruto. Where is democracy, Mr. Msimamo? Hello, Msimamo.
Unanipata brother?
Nakupata. Hebu tuambie, demokrasia iko wapi? Kama mnaenda kufanya mkutano mahali, unaambiwa kwamba hichi eneo hapa ni eneo la Rais William Ruto, hatutaki kukuona huko, lakini pale unaambiwa kwamba tuko na demokrasia. Demokrasia iko wapi?
Kwanza kiongozi kama huyo ni kinyaa na ni si jambo la maana kabisa, kwa sababu hakuna demokrasia hapo. Huwezi mkataza mwenzako asizungumze na wananchi, kwa sababu wananchi
Nimekupoteza kaka. Msimamo, uko wapi kakangu? Shaima anasema nini? Hapana, hii mimi nadhani Shaima, kitu inafanyika ni kwamba tu iko tu ile njama ya kuua multipartyism, you know, so that people could not speak. You know, if you have like one channel whereby you air your grievances, because I do not think that with the grassroots and the population that ODM have members, when you still fear, or you just make a decision that we are supporting with your base. Maybe Joseph, just in brief, where did we lose democracy? If somebody cannot hold a rally somewhere just because this is your bedroom, and when
thank you, Brother Benzo, for that question. I'm going to fault two people.
Yeah.
For the delusion of our democracy. And I'm going to fault one who is Uhuru Kenyatta and the other one who is William Ruto, because we saw the height of undemocratic place when we had the security laws. You remember the security laws, Brother
Yes.
Benson? When people are fighting in parliament, the first fight I've ever seen in parliament, people fighting. And then I think Ruto mastered that art and he continued with it, or maybe they were in it together, because the first term of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, they were all in together.
Yeah.
And I think the ideas were stemming in from the two of them. And I think that is where we lost all our constitutionalism and all our democracy. Because there is no way you are going to tell me that you are going to be holding demonstrations. First, there is one thing that was asked. Okay, you are saying that people, I heard Murkomen saying that the issue about Kitengela and why they threw a tear gas was because it was on a market day and those people were disrupting a market. I asked myself, okay, William Ruto has been in Lakisama over the weekend. He was in Lakisama. I think those people were also going on with their own business. Why were they not told that? Why was the president not tear gassed and told that you are coming to disturb people when they are doing their own daily activities? So I think it is a height of intolerance, and the same people who are talking about being harassed by the previous government, they are the same people who are harassing these people, and it is very unfortunate that this is where we have headed as a country, that a young man can just be shot from the eyes and the bullet comes out of the skull. And that guy even was not involved in any of the political activities. He was continuing with his own things. Then you come and say that Babu, and Sifuna, they're supposed to be the ones answering to that. They cannot be answerable to that because of once. Who shot the person? It was not a bodyguard from Sifuna's convoy. It was a police officer who is very rogue, who opened fire and shot that young man. And to answer you, Brother Benson, the police themselves, they have a code and they have been given training. I don't know why we give them training. They are given training with our money. That training, they go with our money to be trained on how to handle crowds. And you could have heard even that guy called Owino. It's called Owino. That was a spokesman of police. He was saying that they're supposed to pronounce. Before you do anything, you're supposed to pronounce. Tell the people, now we have seen you have become a distraction. You're blocking the road. Your meeting has become unruly. We are supposed to end the meeting. We are giving you 15 minutes. Close your meeting and you need to leave. And then after, if they see you're not leaving, they're supposed now to take the measures. And even the shooting, Brother Benson. You disposing your firearm, you taking your firearm and disposing a bullet is supposed to be the end result when you feel you are in danger. But the first thing that you're supposed to do is try to maintain the crowd. I think you have seen demonstration in certain countries, and our constitution gives that. Even the constitution of the police themselves, the ones they are under, gives that. Even the procedure that they go through, that we pay for with our money, which I feel very bad, we are paying for them. And then they come and kill us. We pay for them to go and get educated on how to handle the crowds, because the first thing, I wish you hear Musalamai, I think he was a GSU officer. He was saying that the first instant is you need to proclaim to these people, tell them you need to leave, you need to leave. You need to give them certain time, they leave. After they don't listen is the time that you pronounce again. If they don't leave, now is the time you engage. Maybe you blow a tear gas if you start seeing the people have become unruly. They always say that one person is only the one person supposed to be holding a gun. The other guys are supposed to be holding batons and tear gas canisters. Okay, let me also come back to the meeting in Kitengela, because these guys, they had already finished their meeting. They had already finished. They were going. They had done their final closing remarks. They were going. It's only Ndolo who had not finished. They could have even let him finish 5 minutes and they could have left. What was the whole shenanigans of them throwing a tear gas canister? But I think also police, and I feel very, very bad that the IPOA himself, the person who is in charge of IPOA, came and said that even the activities that we saw in Odhaya, that they are not policemen. And you can quite see that there is a police vehicle there, and you can come and clarify there is no policeman. So what does this tell us? We don't have any institutions that is working, Brother Benson.
Collapse in our system.
Yeah, it has all collapsed. And IPOA was, I don't even want them to be given money, Brother Benson. They say they are underfunded, let them not be given money. They are just a toothless body. They cannot help us in any way. So I think Kakamega will be another height of rally. But I'm very much afraid that there's going to be violence, because the way you have seen them, they want to do. I have seen even Farouk is in those regions. I think it's not going to be an easy affair. I'm praying for those boys, because they are trying to talk. They don't have the power themselves. Hiyo power, unajua kule power iko, Brother Benson. And kama tutapata hiyo power, tutakuwa tu tunasema ngoo.
Joseph, before you sign off, this is now almost the fourth time you're talking about power. What power is this? Even msanii kutoka Tanzania pia na power naishiwa power. Wewe hii power yako ni gani? Ama unasema ile?
I think this session from 2025 to 2027, people want power so much. Even I hear also KPLC is getting angry and they wanachukua power kila wakati. So I think power imekuwa shida sana. Power inatakikana kila pahali. Si kwa manyumba, si kila pahali. Hata wanaume naona wanaendea Mkombero wakisema we want power. So power
wale wanaturudisha nyuma.
But one thing I'm very happy is that young guy who is pretending, who is impersonating Oburu Odinga. People are saying that he looks more Oburu than Oburu himself. That Oburu is like he's the one who is copying from this young man. But one certain thing is, if they don't get power, they are going to get more.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, and thank you everyone who was with us in this session. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all on your comment section. I was waiting for Marco Bura, but he is not here yet. Tomorrow I'll be here. Tomorrow I will be free, and I will do a very long, good discussion. Even if William rigged himself in 20, but with minds like he won't believe. All right. Thank you so much.
Brother Benson, we clearly have good minds. We clearly have good minds, and they are there. And the young people, I'm very happy that the young people from 45 going down, Brother Benson, they are taking the task of ruling this country. You can see even in certain quarters, MPs and everywhere, and I'm very happy. Let us edge off these young people, these old people, Brother Benson. They have destroyed. You know me, I'm still shocked that the labor organ is still being ruled by a person who is almost approaching 90, I think 85. And the young people don't have work. It's so unfortunate for us, and we have been told that somebody should retire by 65. It's very unfortunate. I'm hoping the young people will take this calling. And also tell the young people who are the Gen Z, please go and take your voters card. That is going to change the country that is going to change the trajectory of this country. If you don't take your voters card, you are letting us down. You are the ones who came and told us that you want to remove a bad governance. You're the ones who came and told us that there was opulence in this government. Opulence is not still going down, Brother Benson. Opulence is still there. We can see that a whole deputy president is using 1 million every day for certain things. So I urge the young people, please go and take up your voters card. Please vote. I think some of them, most of them are first-time voters. It is not easy, Brother Benson. You stay in the lines. You need to queue. You need to vote. You need to wait. Let them have patience. Let them take the voters card. Let us come out. I don't care where you are voting. If you are voting two-term, if you are a young person, but just take the voters so that you can decide. So that from 2027, you cannot come here and tell us that the country is not going right direction and you never voted. You are doing nothing if you tell us that.
All right, Rothe, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. And Shaima, thank you. We will look into that. It's just like there are some issues that we are still working around. So if things go well, we will be coming for a long conversation. Thank you, everyone, and may God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. May you have a good night, a good day, depending from where you're watching us. And all those who joined us also, we will not go without telling you thank you to our new subscribers too. We really, really appreciate. I'm still working on how to get the diaspora view. It's just like one thing I've also realized that there's so many people who do not want to come to the cameras, but hopefully in the near future we will. May God bless you. Thank you so much.